Okay, so that we can, in case you miss it, you can go over it again. So what we start out with is we look at the first sentence, and our job is in the first sentence to pick out 3 words, and we're going to make a note to help us remember. So we're going to go through this sentence by sentence, and for each sentence we're going to take a note. So what 3 words could we do?
Children's crusade event.
Okay? Okay, those would be 3 words.
Unusual event history.
Unusual event history. So if you do unusual event history, then you have to remember it's a children's crusade, right? But you could do that.
Unusual children's crusade.
Unusual children's crusade. Where children? All possible, right? Okay, so you choose your 3 words. I'm going to choose, okay, so go down below your text, and I'm going to write number 1, unusual. So I'm going to do unusual, comma,
you have so many pages.
children's,
I like to be organized and I X them on.
and history. Okay?
Mr.
Unusual
Tom,
children's history.
Mr. Tom, you have so many pages.
Yes, I do. Okay, you don't have to choose all the same. Okay?
Mr. Tom,
Yes, so you don't have to pick words from it. So you could say peculiar instead of unusual, right? You can pick your words that you want. But you're doing a note on that first sentence. Okay? So Zoe, do you understand what we're doing? We're writing a note on the first sentence. So you write here, you write 1 period, and then summarize this sentence with 3 words. I, for example, am going to do crusade unusual history. Write that as number 1. So what we're doing is taking a note. Okay? So Carter wrote stupid children's history. Okay? Yes. Ma'am.
Stupid children.
Okay. So we take that note. Okay. Soren, do you have that? Okay. So Soren, your first note is not a drawing usually, so we usually use 3 words. 3 words instead of. Okay. So what 3 words are you going to use to summarize the first sentence?
Stupid children's crusade.
You could do something like that. Okay. I picked unusual children's history. Okay. Then we go to the next sentence. Next sentence is, in the year 1212, tens of thousands of unarmed children set out from Europe to regain Jerusalem from the Muslims. Okay. In the year 1212. So look at your second sentence. I'm going to do 1212 because I want to remember the date. Okay. And I'm going to say Europe and Jerusalem. Okay? So that's going to remind me of what I want to say. So I want to say, oh, in the year 1212, these children, because I remember it's children, they went from Europe and they were trying to get to Jerusalem. And we know why they're trying to go to Jerusalem anyway, so I kind of remember that.
Actually, wait,
Can you
is
do
Jerusalem in Oregon?
unarmed dead? Is dead, did dead come from that sentence?
Mr. Tom?
No. So you're summarizing that sentence. So it's not dead there. Yeah.
Mr. Tom?
So look at your sentence and summarize.
Oregon?
What?
Is Jerusalem in Oregon?
Jerusalem is not in Oregon. Jerusalem is in Israel, right? Which is a country.
Because I thought, because it says Salim and...
Oh, Salem, like Salem, right? Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not. So it's Jerusalem, yeah. Okay, so let's look at the third sentence. Okay, so what's the third sentence? The so-called crusade was a disaster. Now that's an easy one to summarize in 3 words, right? You could almost do the whole thing, right?
So-called?
So you could say crusade, disaster, right? So you don't even need all the words. So we can say crusade was a disaster. Okay. So my first sentence, my note is unusual children's history. Soren, I don't see any notes yet. Okay. Do you understand what we're doing? We're writing notes. So right now I have 3 notes. Unusual children's history. I have note 2 is the second sentence. 1212 Europe, Jerusalem, and my third note is crusade was a disaster. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so now, what's our next thing? Here it is. Our fourth sentence. None of the children reached the Holy Land.
Why do none?
None made it. Yeah, so you figure.
You could do.
So none. So try and do it in 3 words. So none Holy Land. So I'm going to do none Holy Land. Okay. None Holy Land. Okay. So now I've done my first 4 sentences. So I got notes for my first 4 sentences. Okay. So I see, Soren, you don't want to do the note-taking thing, but this is what we're learning. It's very valuable to learn this note-taking technique.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It is. It's very valuable. Okay, so what's our 5th sentence? Many children were sold into slavery. Okay. Many sold slavery, or you could do many became slaves. Many became slaves. Okay. Many became slaves. And then our last one, what's our last sentence? Thousands never returned at all. Thousands gone. You can do thousands died, right? So thousands of children died. Yeah, I mean, you can add your own words. And so now we say thousands never returned. So they died. Okay? Okay, so here's the idea. Why do you think? So what was the first suggestion that we heard? The first suggestion is, let's just take the paragraph and exchange some words, right? That is a brilliant idea. That's what every student tries. And what is that called? It's called plagiarism. Okay? If you do plagiarism as you get older, you will get kicked out of school.
Oh.
That's why we're teaching you the notes. So if you say, I just wrote a paper, your teacher will put your paper into a checker, a plagiarism checker. And it will go on the internet and it will say, wait a minute, what you just wrote is almost identical except for those words you changed to what was on this web page.
And you're not so.
Your teacher will say, you just wrote 90% copy of those sentences. You are kicked out of this class. And if you do it at a university, you are kicked out of UNC or wherever you are if you plagiarize.
Mr. Tom,
Yes.
isn't that like, because my teacher always tells me last year when I was in B2, my teacher always told me I couldn't write the exact same thing of the, like, I couldn't write, like, if it said, like.
That's right. Okay, so this is a way for you never to do that, because now here's what you do. Don't look at your text anymore. Only look at your notes, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're just going to look at our notes, and now let's write a sentence that uses your first note. So mine was unusual children's and history. Okay? So now I'm going to write a sentence that has that. Okay? So I'm going to write something like this. Children making a crusade was, let me write my sentence, please, was a bizarre event in history. Bizarre event in history. So I decided to change unusual to bizarre. Yes, what was your question? Okay. So now what you're going to do is take your first note and write a paragraph. Write a sentence from it. Okay? Take your first note and write a paragraph. I don't see your notes. So where's your note? Where's note 1, note 2, note 3, note 4, note 5? Okay, so just circling the words and you think, that's one way to do it, okay? But it's not as good a way. Okay? So sort of not really, because when you do it that way, you're still going to be looking back at your text, and you're not taking notes, and you'll end up saying the same words that are in the text. So it's not as good a way to do it as what we're doing. Okay, does everyone got their first sentence done?
Yeah.
Okay, now. Yeah, now, So if you put in a new adjective that's a lot better than, like nice or good are kind of plain adjectives, but bizarre is a pretty good adjective. So I'm gonna highlight that in blue. Okay.
I can't highlight in blue.
Okay. So you have your pencils, and you'll be able to highlight yours in blue too. Okay. So I'm gonna highlight that in blue. So I'm gonna take the text and make it blue. Okay. So there I have bizarre. Okay. And when you get done, you can go in with your you can just underline your adjective if you want. But if you have your colored pencils that you, of course, brought as part of your class, you can do that too.
Underline it?
You can, but for now, you can underline it. So underline your best. Okay. So now for me, my next note is about 1212, going from Europe to Jerusalem. Okay. Okay. So gullible, that's a good one, right? So now I'm going to say in 1212. Okay. In 1212. So let me finish the sentence and I'll talk to you, right? Okay, in 1212, okay, many optimistic children tried to march from Europe to Jerusalem. Okay, so they tried to march from Europe to Jerusalem. Okay, what was your question card? You can write on the back.
So I'm just ready.
Yep, you can write on the back.
I have no space.
Okay, so if you have a really good adjective or verb, okay, you can highlight that. So I've got a really good verb. I like march, right? So I'm going to highlight march, and I'm going to highlight it in red. Okay, so tried to march from Europe. So we've done two, and so we're going to do this with each sentence. Okay? So Soren, this has to get done. If you don't want to do it now, you're going to have to do it tonight, and I'll send it home as homework for you tonight. So you have a choice, but it has to be done today. Okay? It's not an optional thing. We're doing it. So I would recommend doing it now, and then you'll have it done. Okay. So I would recommend finishing this assignment now.
Finish it now?
We're going to finish it now. Okay. So what's my the third note was the crusade was a disaster. Okay. So whatever your third note is now you're going to write a sentence for your third note. Okay, so my note just says crusade was disaster. Okay, so write in something for your third note.
No one likes homework. Like, everyone
no one likes homework, right? So let's try and finish this now.
10, 10, 10, 10.
See.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to change mine into the adventure turned into a disaster. Oh, I'm going to turn mine in the adventure sadly but surely turned into Soren, did you ask someone to leave the room? No? That's the rule in this classroom. Okay. If you want to leave the room, then ask one of the teachers. Yeah. Turn into a disaster. Okay. Okay, so that was our third note. The fourth note is the sentence about none of the children made it to the Holy Land. Okay. So,
I finished.
all right. So,
wait, I need to know the truth.
all right. So here's what you need to do. You need to make sure you have at least one strong verb, one descriptive adjective, and one ly adverb. Okay. In the whole paragraph, that's all you need is one really good verb, one really good adjective, and one ly adverb.
One verb. Can you say
One good verb. Okay.
An action. Went.
Yeah, not a strong one. Okay. So you need a strong one.
So I'll change it.
Yeah, like remember we did marched was a strong verb. Is holy an adverb? No, holy is an adjective. Right? Unarmed is a good what? Good adjective, yeah. Okay, so an adverb tells you something about a verb. Like marched confidently would be an ly adverb. Okay, so we got to think of an ly adverb.
I got March.
Marched is a good verb. Bizarre is a good adjective. Now you need to get an ly adverb. Okay, so like marched confidently, or yeah.
I have two so far.
What?
One of them is exhausted.
Exhausted, a good
And
adjective.
another one's
Yeah, so you have two good adjectives, right? The adventure sadly but surely turned into a disaster.
Here. I'm not sure I'm supposed to use carrot anymore, but I use a carrot.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine to use carrot. Okay, so we have marched. Okay, now you need your ly adverb. Where's your ly adverb? Okay. So ly adverb.
Right here. Strongly.
March strongly.
Yeah. Is that correct?
Well, that I've never heard that word before, but it is using it as a adverb. Yeah. So you've invented a new adverb, strongly. Okay. Now you have that. What are you going to do with it?
Take a picture of it and send
Put
it
it
to
into
Evernote.
Evernote. Yep. Put it in Evernote. Very good. Okay. Tried to march from sadly it turned into disaster. Okay. None made it to the Holy Land. So I'm going to say no one reached the goal. No one reached the goal. Okay. So where is your descriptive adjective?
What's the ly?
The descriptive adjective? Where's your best adjective? So for example, my best adjective is bizarre. What's your best adjective?
Stupid.
Stupid? Not bad, but it's not very strong, right? Little kids all say stupid. Can you get a better, what's better than stupid? Crusade is a noun, right? Okay, so you're looking for a good, strong verb, a good descriptive adjective?
Children.
Children is a nice noun, yeah. What verb are you using it with? What? They were lying weakly? They were lying weakly. Weakly would be is an ly adverb. What?
Is died one?
Die is a verb. Okay, but it's not a very good verb.
I have died.
Okay. Died is a okay. You have to do a stronger verb than that. Die is a very common verb. Like expired. Okay. They perished. Perished is a stronger verb than died.
They vanished?
Vanish would be a strong verb. They vanished from the earth. That would be a strong verb. No one reached the goal. Okay, so show me your adjective. What's your descriptive adjective? Stupid. What's your strong verb? Okay, now, okay, where's your ly adverb? Yeah, you need an ly adverb before you can go. You need an ly adverb.
I got vanished.
That's a strong verb.
And then is confidently.
Confidently is an ly adverb, right? And now you need, and then what was your good adjective?
My good adjective.
Good adjective.
The adjective was vanish.
Vanish is not an adjective.
Wait, what is an adjective?
Adjective modifies a noun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So there's a so gullible is a good one, right? Gullible children, that's a good adjective. Unarmed is a good adjective. Paraded is a good strong verb. Good adjective. Okay. Disastrous is what? It's an adjective. Adjective. Okay. Many of them should collapse. Okay, so now you just need your ly adverb. So something that goes with an adverb, right? So they marched confidently. They perished vainly.
I got unarmed.
Unarmed is an adjective. Okay.
So without
Now you got it. Okay. What do you need to do with that now?
I have
Put my name on it?
You have to put it in Evernote. Do you know how to put it in Evernote?
Type it.
You could type it. Take a picture of it, mail it to yourself, put it in Evernote.
But it has two sides.
Take two pictures of it.
Okay, so this is.
Can I just type it in?
Adjective.
Can I type it in?
You can type it if you want.
I
Yeah.
finished.
Okay, so let's check. Completely, ly adverb. Was out of reach. Dragged into, good verb. Vanished, good verb. What's your good adjective? Stupid children. You can do better than stupid.
Cautious is cautiously a good.
Cautiously better description.
I did the out
Oh,
of
the
the
idiotic.
out
Yeah, idiotic.
and the out of
They
reach.
stupidly march.
And
Yeah.
the out of reach thing. So
Okay.
and the out of
Exhausted.
reach. Weeping.
Out of reach is it's an adverb, but it's not ly adverb. It's an
Weeping. Weekly.
adverb. Okay, the weekly.
Is ran a good verb?
We're lying weekly.
Ran.
Ran is a very ordinary verb. Let's try and do that.
So I finished.
Jog. Galloped.
You know
Trotted.
what? Just like out of reach describes the Holy Land, not